Good evening. I'm now going to try and bring you the first of what I hope will be many different reviews of different things that I've been using in terms of equipment, primarily goalkeeper gloves, I'm sure, but it's just something I've seen a few others on the World Wide Web do, and I thought I'd quite like to have a go myself. I'll only ever review things from my own collection. I will admit right now that I own a lot of goalkeeper gloves in this instance. Quite often, I don't get round to using them like I should. A lot of the time, it's just a case of you have to buy things from the web these days, and unless you buy them, you can't always tell what they're like. You can't try them. So, quite often, I've seen a pair of gloves, and I'm not entirely sure if I want to use them as such. I just want to know what they're like. But the pair I'm going to review this evening are most certainly gloves that I would like to think I will get round to using. They are a Puma glove, and they are right here for you. And they are the Puma PowerCat 112. They are in the original green colorway rather than the black, which is what most of the keepers have used. Now, I dawdled before getting a pair of these, and as a consequence, very nearly didn't get them. I would have expected, as is the case with Puma gloves, to have had to have got them in a 7.5. I am an 8 usually, but Puma gloves tend to run quite large for size. Certainly the PowerCat gloves, the last two generations that I've used, have all been very big for size. However, I missed out on the chance of getting a pair of these in a 7.5, so I decided to take a risk on them in a 7. And to my great delight, they seem to have been absolutely fine. If you have a look at the glove now, you've got it's a flat palm glove, as you can see. Unlike most of the PowerCat gloves, though, rather than a flat thumb, it has the rolled thumb on here, which, as I say, just on the tip there, which gives you a slightly snugger fit and also gives you, in theory, a bit better control. The latex feels quite nice from the go. You can usually feel if there's a little bit of tackiness, it's usually quite strong. There's not so much, the presence of chemicals are not so strong. Although these would probably benefit from at least a good rinse, if not a full wash, before being used. Most latexes will come up surprisingly well with just a bit of even cold water, but it is quite wise to give them a wash if you can. Trying the glove on, it is a 7. I'm usually an 8. It's a bit of a bugger to get on, I'll be honest, but once it's on, it fits very, very nicely indeed. It's almost a perfect fit, in fact. You don't feel too much in the way of movement. The thumb, maybe even at a 7, might be a tiny bit baggy there, but in general, the fit is very, very nice. Again, the wrist strap not as long as some Puma gloves of recent memory, but it's a lovely looking glove. In all honesty, I like it more than the the equivalent, the black. There's not much of a difference, but it's suitably striking. The only thing I have noticed is with the index finger, particularly on the left hand, there does seem to be a little bit of what is known in the goalkeeping circles as finger twisting, which is where it's happened primarily it occurs with flat palm gloves. The finger starts to twist a little when it's on, which can affect the contacts with the latex. I don't foresee it being a huge problem, and I've had a lot of flat palm gloves where this has happened. It's a little disappointing, obviously, but I don't foresee it being a huge problem. But I'm very much looking forward to wearing them. I picked them up for the bargain price of £30 from Just Keepers, as they were selling them off. But as I say, I've got a long line of gloves, and particularly Puma gloves, as I'm a big fan of Puma gear in general. I've been wearing a lot of gloves and boots recently from Puma, so I've got quite a way to go before I will get round to these. But I'm very much looking forward to them. They're nicely vented, they're very comfortable, the build quality feels excellent, and considering that they are a full size smaller than the size that I would ordinarily choose, it's very, very surprising. As I say, my only criticism is they're a bit of a bugger to get on, at least initially, and the little finger twisting issue. But the glove itself seems to be very, very nice, and it uses the absorb grip latex, which is a newer Puma latex as I understand it. It's usually the Ultimate Grip or the graphite, but this seems to be a very, very nice glove, and I'm very much looking forward to giving it a go. Once I may very well come back to you once I've used it a couple of times, see how it's holding up in terms of durability and performance. But I am very impressed with what I've seen thus far. Anyway, this is my first go at this kind of thing, so as I say, I imagine I'll perfect what needs to be said over the course of a few of these. But I hope you gained something from it. I don't have any intention of going into massive detail. I just want to give you a very basic overview of what it is, as if you were in a shop and you were just looking and you picked it off the shelf and you had a go. Most people who will want the detail will be aware of what they're looking for anyway, and if there are any specific questions, obviously I can subsequently answer them if you wish. But thank you very much for watching, and I hope that it provided something interesting for you. Good evening.